fantasy, oh, fantasy, fantasy. He is one, third devil, and two-thirds man. That's where the devil man gets his name. Can't get out too much, so he scratches and writes to those witchy witches, hoping he gets a turn to burn his letter supply. For fantasy, for fantasy, for fantasy. See, this is what I was told from Capote. It's a miracle he can still breathe through his throat. He tried to break away from his nature, but the devil says no, he still needs to pay the price. He learned Kung Fu and thought about the man he was that still remained. Bummer, he poured him down the drain. For fantasy, for fantasy, for fantasy, see. Oh, a fantasy, oh, a fantasy, fantasy. He is one third devil and two-thirds man. That's where the devil man gets his name. Can't get out too much, so he scratches and writes to those witches, hoping he gets a turn to burn his letter supply. For fantasy, for fantasy, for fantasy. See, this is what I was told from Capote. It's a miracle he can still breathe through his throat. He tried to break away from his nature, but the devil says no, he still needs to pay the price. He learned Kung Fu and thought about the man he was that still remained. Bummer, he poured him down the drain. For fantasy, for fantasy, for fantasy, see.